For a lot of people, even talking about a funeral is unpleasant, while others think nothing of them at all.
Then there are those who are fascinated with how we choose to say goodbye to our loved ones, or the funerals some of us have already planned for ourselves.
It is those people for whom a one-of-a-kind museum recently opened in Aroostook County.
News Center Maine's Hannah Yeshivi gives us a tour of the Rest in Peace Museum.
And you would embalm them, put them in the casket, put the glass over them with cork and wing nuts around the side to hold the glass in place, and then the cover put back over the top of the person and the head panel open so you viewed the person.
Why the window instead of an open casket? In a word, tuberculosis.
Glass put over the top of them so you couldn't breathe in the TB because they were afraid of that during the day.
It's just one of the items Tony Bowers' family has collected over the years. Items that Bowers says just kept getting in the way.
I've had all this stuff that my grandfather, my father, my great-grandfather had since 1900, and I've moved it from this storage to that storage and tripped over it and skunned my shins on it.
That is, until he got an idea. Why not put it all in one place and open it to the public? And the new Rest in Peace Museum in Island Falls was born.
There's my great-grandfather's certificate from 1900, my grandfather's, my father's, and mine.
And pretty soon, his son Ted will be 2 when he becomes the 5th generation of undertakers in the Bowers family.
So death is in our blood.
Death, a topic most people would rather not think about, something we push aside. Bowers says the museum is not meant to scare, but rather to educate.
If you don't keep the history alive, you lose it, and we all need it. And this museum goes back into the late 1800s, early 1900s with things the way it was and how we've evolved to where we're at today.
The exhibit is not gruesome, it's quirky. And like any other museum, it's meant to take you back in time to show you how things were done when a loved one passed away.
They didn't have what they considered nice clothing at home. They couldn't afford stuff. So the funeral director provided dresses for the ladies. And they would come in and back in the 30s and 40s, they would provide dresses like this. And they had suits for the men. And if you notice this suit here, the back is opened and they would just drape it over the man. And this is a cardboard collar.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
That's how it was.
Exactly. And people expected it. And nowadays it's all changed. You know, I will be buried in a suit and tie because I wear a suit and tie every day.
This is about the time that you're probably asking yourself, what would I want to be buried in? I know I was. And that's the point of the museum, to get you thinking about that kind of stuff. Like the fact that at one time when someone died, they didn't go to the funeral home. The funeral home came to them.
And that's how you started embalming people back in the day.
No wonder why it took so long.
And they had strong fingers. And then here is another hand bulb operator, which it's so old it's hard, but they would squeeze that bulb by hand and force the fluid into the person. This little kit that they're all in was folded up, taken to the house, and this table that they're laying on was a portable and cooling board or embalming table.
This was all stuff that your grandfather and father actually used on people.
Exactly, exactly. And it's been around here forever.
It's clear the Bowers have loved and love what they do. And while most people think of being an undertaker as someone dealing with the dead, Bowers says it's helping the living, those left behind, that's driven the family business for more than a century.
It sounds strange being in this profession, but I'm helping people at their hardest times in their life. We all accept it different, hear it different, and learn to have to deal with it, because you never shut off the emotions of a loss.
But life does go on, and if there's one thing this museum teaches us, is that one day we're all gonna die. But it also serves as a reminder that life is good, life is precious, and life is short.
That's my grandson!
In Island Falls, Hannah Yeshivi, News Center, Maine.
It is fascinating because all of those details, you don't think about that until you have to. And even then, when you have to, you probably aren't thinking about, well, what are they putting in me?
Right. I think that's why there's a director to kind of guide you through that process. Pieces there I knew nothing about. Thanks, Hannah.
The Rest in Peace Museum is currently closed for the winter. Tony says he plans on reopening in April.
However, if you are simply dying to see it right now, he says he is willing to host groups by appointment. After all, he is fairly busy with his day job, which is directing funerals all around the county.